will move on to the lightweight men's pair.
The Italians, Bardelli and Pisoni, always enter this. Sarsbo and Furko, familiar names from Hungarians, perhaps not so much. Gorvi and Dubitsky from Israel in 2. Zinchenko and Naumichuk from Moldova. There they are, we haven't started yet. So this, to remind you again, is a preliminary race. All crews will contest the final later in the regatta.
So it's a tricky one to think where your mindset goes, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
In a race like this.
I don't know, what's the conditions now? Does it look like a bit of a crosswind?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a crosshead, if anything, or certainly ahead. You look at that water, it's definitely not as calm as it was earlier on. You can see the boats all being held, they're in position. Those plastic shoes that hold the bows in position, which make it very easy for alignment. Makes it very easy for steering, to hold the boats comfortably while the athletes are able to sit, stay relaxed and get focused. The call over will have started, each of the crews being named so they now know we're about to go. Each crew is called, and then there will be the attention. Then it'll either be the raising and then dropping of the flag, or in this case the light turns green and we're away.
Decent start by the Hungarians over on that far side. They really leapt out ahead of Gorvi and Dubitsky from Israel, who are just at the back at the moment trying to recover a bit of pace. Moldova right in there, and Italy I think will soon be in the lead. 2 youngsters, 20 and 19 years of age, in the Italian pair. One thing about the Israelis, if we get a close look at them, Dan Dubitsky, 22-year-old, I think rode at Newcastle University.
That's an interesting bit of information. He will have trained very hard there within the system that they have.
The Blue Star. So I kind of was surprised to see them off the first part of the 8, that they weren't perhaps more competitive. Hungarians love the rating, as do the Italians.
Yeah,
we've got a rate war
we
against
have
those 2 crews.
Really using rate, as you can see, they're both up above 40 strokes a minute. I wonder if the Hungarians will come down, or whether they'll sort of start to settle onto that. I mean, I guess out through a minute, you tend to think, you blast away for a minute, don't you, and then you settle into a sustainable pace.
Yeah, and if you think the battle between Israel and Moldova doesn't matter, think again, because the fact there are 4 pairs in this means that there are 3 medals to be awarded in the finals. So if Israel can get back on Moldova, they get hope that they might get a medal in this, and a world medal is not to be sniffed at.
Yeah, absolutely. If this is the way it's going to happen, where there might be a race at the front for the gold and silver, and then a race at the back for who's going to get the bronze, that would certainly keep everyone interested.
So slower times, as you can see, this sort of cross headwinds, but it's the 2 Italians out in front from the Serbia club, which is near Verona in North Italy, if you've been to that part of the world. And Francesco Bardelli in the bow seat, he's on the left of the picture, and the stroke man Stefano Pizzoni picked up a silver medal in the lightweight men's pairs in Plovdiv, the under 23s. It's not often you see this event in World Championships. I guess we ought to explain why.
Yeah, so within the lightweight program, we used to have we used to have a number of events before they moved into the Olympic Games, and I guess what that caused was a favouring of some events over others. So something like the lightweight women's 4 or the lightweight men's 8 were more or less killed off, which is of course very disappointing for the lightweights, in favour of bringing in the lightweight 4 and the lightweight double for the men, and the lightweight double only for the women. Since then, I guess we've established gender parity, so that the lightweight 4 has been dropped, and with that, lightweight sweep rowing has been very much undermined, so we don't get much left, and this is what we're left with, really.
It is, and 2 different Italians, these 2 youngsters coming up to the 1,000-metre mark. Last year this event was won by Alessandro Duranti and Giovanni Ficada, and Hungary on the far side, Sarsbo and Furko. both 26 years of age, took second place in this event. And I do remember them racing in those yellow or bright fluorescent yellow caps. I don't know if that's a Hungarian thing or it's just a Sarsbo and Furco thing.
Yeah, well, they're over there in those fluorescent caps. The Hungarian thing is definitely to keep using rates. They're tapping it along 38 strokes a minute, as are the Italians on this side of the course.
Fedor Daravianco coaches this Italian pair, and he'll be delighted with what he's seen at the moment. It looks pretty straight down the middle of the lane, that boat, and they're picking it up together at the front end. I mean, it's not the longest stroke you've ever seen, but then again, you know, they're rating high. What are they up to, about 39?
Yeah, sitting on 38 is their race pace in this Italian double. And as you say, it's not like they're stretching and over-leaning. They're just, I guess, as you know, as a lightweight pair, they're pretty clean in the way they're picking it up. They're not doing a lot to disturb it through the water, just connecting and moving the boat past.
Yeah, I mean, they're not tall men, which I guess, you know, gives them some flexibility in the lightweight. They would both had to have weighed in at an average of 70 kilos, but, you know, they're kind of 1 metre 78, sort of 5'10"-ish. I guess you normally might see lightweight rowers around that height, and maybe up to 6 foot, but they're not the tallest of lightweight rowers.
Yeah, no, as you say, at that sort of height, I guess you would imagine they might be able to find their weight fairly comfortably, rather than some of the lightweight rowers we might see who are a bit taller, struggling to get down to weight.
So 500 metres to go. Italy out in front in this preliminary race for the lightweight men's pair. Final will be later on in the week. It is in third place, the two Moldovans, Nichta Namachuk and Dmitry Zinchenko.
And that aerial shot was just showing beautifully what you'd pointed out, Martin, about their steering and just the trails behind these two lead boats, which is not easy, really, is it, to keep a pair just going straight down the middle of the lane?
No, it isn't. And I think you've got to be completely synced in at the front ends and out the back ends. Your rudder's got to be held pretty straight, so no wobbling of the foot. And, you know, there is this little bit of a crosswind, so you've kind of got to compete with that. But obviously the speed of the boat and the fins they have underneath is holding that boat straight in the lane, and the rowers aren't doing anything to disturb it.
No, well, these Italians aren't. They're doing a very nice job down the centre of the lane. They've got that lead out. It's about 20 metres. You can see it on the left of your screen. Just gently bringing the rate up. They're at 38 through the middle. You can see they're up to 40 now. And it's just a good, solid row. They'll be very pleased with this, I'm sure.
Little look round from the finish from Francesco Bardelli, the 20-year-old who won this event in Varese earlier in the season. I remember him coming down, or this pair coming down, the youngsters, and they would have been dreaming the other 23s and perhaps the chance to be at the World Championships, and they made it here and look like they're favourites to pick up a gold medal later in the week. Italy take this preliminary race. Hungary, the world silver medalists in this event, take second place, and it will be Moldova.
Yeah, it will be Moldova just coming down to the line now. We're about to hear the beep for them. You will hear there. And not too far behind them, it will be Israel just coming down, crossing the line now.
They're a young pair too, just 20 and 22. So I think we have maybe one more race for you today, which is a preliminary race. Always exciting to look at quadruple sculls.